Stretching isn't helping your shoulder pain. If we look at the anatomy of the shoulder, we've actually got two big players that most people aren't talking about that are the key to unlocking your shoulder and becoming pain-free. The shoulder blades and the spine. In traditional strength movements, when you go into the gym, when you do your bench press, when you set your shoulder blades in any pressing movement off a bench, whereas if we actually look at the function of the shoulder blades, they're designed to roll forward as well and not just be pinned back all the time. If a joint, in this case the shoulder blade, is stuck in a particular movement, so it's stuck in retraction or it's pulled back all the time, then it's going to get stiff, tight, and mobile, just like any other joint. If you think about your elbow, if all you could do with your elbow is straighten it and you could only bend it, let's say, up to there, it's going to get tight, it's going to get immobile because the joint isn't being taken through its full range of motion. This is exactly the same thing with the shoulder blades, but most people just don't think about it because it's not an obvious part of the body. So our first exercise to fix this is the tall kneeling breathing position. This is going to create some nice space at the shoulder blades and actually teach us to round forward and open up our back. Set up in this tall kneeling breathing position, hands on your hips, and then we want a nice long tall spine. So I don't want you to stick your chest up towards the ceiling and extend through your lower back. At the same time, I don't want you to crunch and look down towards the floor. I want you to imagine you've got a piece of string through your spine and someone is pulling you up from your head. So you've got a piece of string at the top and someone is pulling you up. So you're just elevating yourself slightly. Then when we look at the position of the pelvis or the hips, we don't want you to be anteriorly pelvic tilted, so sticking your bum out. At the same time, we don't want a massive tuck of the pelvis. We just want somewhere roughly in the middle, neutral, where you're nice and comfy. Then we want you to have some nice and relaxed shoulders, so we don't want to be tense in the traps, just nice and relaxed and slightly rounded forward as well. Now that we're in this position, take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. With this breathing, I want you to think about filling up the back of your ribs. So with each breath, think about the breathing, creating space between the shoulder blades and pulling them further apart. I don't want the air to be filling up your stomach or your chest. The goal of this exercise is to create space between the shoulder blades, but also to get a nice wide back, and also side on, you'll notice a much smoother and more exaggerated curve in the mid and upper back, which is something we want as well. With this exercise, you want to go for 2 to 3 sets of 5 to 8 breaths. This is really easy to add in before your normal strength training sessions, or you could do this as part of a daily mobility routine. Minimum effective dose would be 4 times a week, but as I said, you could probably get away with doing this every day if you can be consistent with that and it fits into your routine. The second big player that no one is talking about is the spine. We don't move our spine. Our spine is always stuck in one position. In the deadlift, we're told not to move or round our spine. In the bench press, it's stuck in one position. When we're doing any other exercise, if you think about it, it's stuck in one position. Whereas in sport and in day-to-day life, our spine rotates, it bends, it flexes, it extends, it does all of these different things. So bottom line, it's designed to move. The best way to get it moving is these half kneeling reaches. So set up in this half kneeling position, grab a really light plate. You don't want your shoulders to be fatiguing from this. So I'd start off with a 1 to 2.5 kilo plate. Push this out in front of you and you're simply going to do 4 rotations on each side. Keep your head looking straight ahead. So the only thing that's moving, or the only place that the movement's coming from, is your mid and upper back. The second part of the exercise, on the same side, stick that plate overhead, and then you're going to bend, and you're going to do 4 bends on each side. So again, you're trying to bend as much as possible through the spine, and as you bend one way with the spine, let your hips stick out the other way, and then vice versa. Be nice and fluid with this, don't be too rigid, just relax, be chilled. Once you've done that, then swap the half kneeling position to the other side, do the reaches out in front, 4 on each side, and then do the reaches overhead again, 4 on each side. You can go for 2 to 3 sets of this. This is a lovely way to open up the spine and actually attack the root cause of the issue with a lot of shoulder pain, which is just getting some movement at the spine to take some of the pressure off that shoulder. If you enjoyed that video, YouTube will recommend another one for you to watch somewhere on the screen. If you're interested in what I offer with coaching, just have a look at the links down below in the description.